at the end of the day, real estate is also an investment, just like any other business. And landlords are out there always trying to optimize for costs and expenses and trying to make sure that they protect their bottom line. So when I speak about bottom line, this is the actual amount of money you get from your investment after you have taken away the expenses, which most people call net operating income. So for new investors that are out there, they struggle with this simply because they don't know what to do. So today I wanted to give you our top 4 tips on how to optimize and then boost your bottom line. So the first tip has to be with your rent, the price you are charging for your units. So you have to make sure that you are, one, not overpricing your unit, because when a unit is overpriced, it is then going to be vacant. And once it is vacant or you have empty units, like we have said, any empty unit is lost income to you as a landlord. So you are losing money there, and obviously that's damaging your bottom line. On the other side, I don't want you to set your rent too low, because there you are literally losing returns. That is money you could have had, but you are leaving it on the table simply because you have not set your market rent right. So in other words, you're supposed to go out into your market and look at, what am I offering? Maybe I'm offering a 1 bed, I'm offering a 2 bed. It has this sort of amenities, and the market has priced this unit, let's say for landlords 1, 2 and 3, at about 1.2 per month. So considering all my expenses in maybe buying this unit, if something that you have not built by yourself or you have constructed it from the start. So considering all my expenses and the effort I have put into delivering this unit, what would be the market trend? So you go into the market and you look at your competitors. So if you have a 2-bed, you're going to look at other 2-bedroom apartments, maybe units, maybe bungalows, maybe condos. The price is always going to be different, okay? And the market sets this price. So you look at them and then you price your unit based on that. Yes, it's okay to go a bit above or a bit under, as long as you know that you're going to attract the best tenants and then you're going to keep them for long term. And then the second tip is to find the right tenants. So you need to screen, you need to verify, you need to interview. A lot of landlords make the mistake of not properly screening their tenants simply because they want the tenant to move in and they want to start earning that rent immediately. But you know, when you let people in that you have not screened, let me say, for their financial health, if you have not checked if they are able to cover the rent that you are charging, let me say if it is 1.2, are they able to cover that 1.2 per month, or is it going to become a problem? And if it becomes a problem, it's going to hurt your bottom line, because this is rent you're not going to be collecting. If you're supposed to collect, let's say, 10 million of rent from this one unit and they only pay 8 or 5, that means you've lost about 5 to 2 million in rent that is going to affect your bottom line for that year. So make sure that you are screening the tenants. If they are a bad tenant, they are going to damage your property. They are going to have quarrels with the neighbors. They are going to chase away the good tenants. They are going to damage your property in that you're constantly making repairs simply because this person doesn't take care of the unit. Or when they are leaving, there's going to be so much work for you to do in turning over the unit and taking time to turn over that unit so that another tenant can come in, regardless of the fact that they are going to cover the costs in their security deposit. When it takes longer for you to turn a unit and then show it and then market it and then, get a tenant in, it's also hurting your bottom line, because like we said, a vacant unit is all missed income for you on your side as a landlord. And then number 3 is to stay professional. So by staying professional, I mean you need to communicate professionally. So if it is by email for a lease, make sure that you're sending your leases via email so that you have track records, okay? And then if it is deposits, kindly keep those receipts. Make sure that you have them on site or in a document or somewhere that is organized. If it is things like inspecting, make sure that you are communicating to your tenant before you go in for an inspection. Don't just go. Make sure that you are staying professional. You respect them, because when tenants feel respected, they also reciprocate and they don't become much of a problem for most of us. So, and then the other thing is to draft a solid lease. So I have always said that a lease agreement is going to be that one factor that is going to guide the relationship between the tenant and the landlord. So make sure that your lease is in check. Have someone like a property manager or a lawyer review it once in a year so that they can make sure that it is updated, so that they can make sure that you don't have any loopholes for tenants to maybe take advantage of, or something that is going to get you in trouble with the law. Make sure that you are reviewing that lease yearly, and then that you keep every lease up to date. When a tenancy expires, make sure that they are signing another lease, so that everything is kept legal, so that all these things, the duties, the tenant knows when they are supposed to pay the money. They know. They can't say that, okay, you know what, I did not know this, I did not do this, but you can clearly pull out the lease and say, maybe in clause 7 it says you're supposed to pay rent in advance for 3 years, for 2 months, for 1 month. Whatever your clause says, you can ably defend that when you have something that is tangible, which is going to be your lease. So the first step is going to be to set competitive rents. Don't set way above the market price because you're not going to get tenants, and then don't set below because you're leaving cash on the table. Number 2 is going to be to stay professional. Make sure that you are respecting your tenants, that you are interacting with them professionally through the legal channels. Make sure that you have all your records in check. Make sure that you have your lease well written out, and then make sure that you are screening your tenants. A good tenant, once you can get a good tenant into your property and then you're able to keep them for the long term, you're going to have a far much better landlord experience, other than when you are getting tenants that are turning over each and every year, or let's say if each and every 6 months you have a new tenant coming into the unit. That means you need to repaint the unit. That means you need to sign a new lease. That means you need to pay brokers that are bringing that client. So all those are going to be costs that are hurting your bottom line at the end of it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Raymond from Realty Services Limited. Please follow us for more content like this. We like to give tips that are going to help new landlords, experienced landlords, even property managers out there that are trying to get a grip on how the industry works and what best strategies they can use to be able to maybe run their business or run their properties better. So I'll see you in the next one. Please like, comment, subscribe, and follow. Bye-bye.